Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Simply Monique Radio Show. I'm your host, Monique. Before we dive into our show, let us first read our foundational scripture and share the purpose of this platform. Scripture reading, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31 in the King James Version. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. This platform is for individuals to have authentic conversations about faith, business, and lifestyle. This show allows guests and the audience to be educated, empowered, and equipped to achieve success personally and professionally. Our book recommendations are as follows. Educational, Developing Healthy Work Habits, 7 Steps to Shift Your Career by Monique Washington. Inspirational, House Fire, When a Little Girl's Prayers Ignites into a Passionate Journey by Dr. LaTanya DeXa. Relationships, The In-Tune Husband by Charles Maris. Children, The Life of a Seed by Kellesia Sharay. Business, The Kingdom-Driven Entrepreneur's Guide, Doing Business God's Way by Shay Bynes. And Still Running with Blinders, The Top 17 Mistakes of Small Businesses Make by Brian Joubert, aka Rich Boy. In world news today, former President Joe Biden is still canceling student loan debt outside the White House. There are more job openings than applicants, and it is tough to get a job in today's economy. Could the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas be in jeopardy? I do not know, but you guys stay tuned, and we'll keep you updated. Be sure to tune in every Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time for another episode of the Simply Monique Radio Show. Until next time, stay up, be blessed, and peace. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very creative and unique guest with us. She is an author, a speaker, I shall say, as well as the hair nutritionist. She's overcome a lifetime of challenges, and we all are familiar with those things, but hers was specific to depression, childhood trauma, the physical and mental abuse. Kellesia also says that she hasn't escaped her circumstances unscathed, but she bore the scars of these experiences as an example to others, to you and I, that your environment and circumstances do not define you, and that you are indeed a seed that can emerge from the dirt as a beautiful bloom. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to discuss Kellesia's journey, her triumphs, and her latest book. Yeah, she's a children's book author, so we're going to dive into that. I'm excited to discuss his journey and being able to tap a little bit more into who this beautiful young lady is with us on today. Welcome to the show, Miss Kellesia Sharay.
Hi, Monique. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful.
That is awesome. So let our listeners know a little bit more about you. I know in the bio I read, it's a lot of stuff in it, but I want to get into it. So let us know some things that we don't know, we wouldn't know on a regular basis about you.
Okay, so I am a cosmetologist. I have been in the industry for over, I would say, about 25 years, and that was my passion. And actually a gift. Before I went to cosmetology school, I had like a plethora of clients, and customers. And when I went to school, they were basically like, hey, there's pretty much nothing we can teach you. We're just going to, if you do our family's hair and make sure that we look good around here, you just can go across the stage. So, I thank God for that. I would say that is what, a lot of people don't know, that I have been in the industry for over 25 years. And I was, gifted with clients before I actually attended school. Yeah.
That is awesome. That is unique. So she had the people, y'all. She had the clientele. You know how most people are they go to school and they're trying to build their clientele. She had it already. So we need some tips and lessons from Kellesia or Kelly, if you would, So we figure out what is the neck, what does she do, right? But you shifted careers, if you will. So you was in the beauty industry, the hair industry, over 20 plus years. And you have such beautiful hair. You guys can see her hair, how healthy and long it is. I don't know what she's doing to it, but she's doing something we need to know, okay?
Thank you. And actually, I'm still in the industry, Monique, and like I took my gift because I would always, when I would see certain challenges, that my
Mhm.
clients had going on with their hair. When I started to garden, I became aware that a lot of herbs can be used naturally to help the hair. And as I began to take, do go start gardening on my own, and
Mhm.
things that I knew about the herbs that I was growing, I would
Mhm.
just make up something for my clients. So if I saw someone's hair, if they were having challenges with bald spots, and if it wasn't related to alopecia and things of that
Mhm.
nature, I knew that I'm like, hey, there's an herb for that. So, I
Yeah.
would make up something for them to take with them, not realizing that later on it would be brought to my attention. Hey, have you ever thought to bottle, some of this stuff and sell it? And I was like, well, no, I always just make sure that my clients, have something with them, especially if I was growing it, to take with them. That way I would see if their hair was dull and if it wasn't related, to them not taking in enough green vegetables, or the water intake or things of that nature. I knew I grew like a bunch of chocolate mint, and that naturally shines the hair. So I would just mix up things that I knew that would help the hair through the garden, and that's how I began to kind of pivot. Me behind the chair so much to like, hey, let me create something, that, people, the real products, real herbs with real ingredients, not a lot of stuff being sold on the market, that, if you can't go in
Mhm.
and dissect the ingredients list, you won't have any idea what's going on. So, it's a lot going on with products being sold that are not good for the hair, but, the consumer would not know to, go in there and look for such things that are harmful, that are not helpful.
That is wonderful. Do you all catch that? Nowadays, we have a lot of cosmetologists, beauticians, hairstylists, if you will, who are either making the money to style their hair, not caring about how to treat the clients, their hair, that they're not caring how they want to treat their clients' hair. They want to style it, put all these chemicals in it, but not really understanding, hey, you need to eat and drink certain things. And Kelly has provided that to her clients. Some nuggets I want to take from what she shared you all was she provided not only nutritional products for her clients, but she provided an excellent service and treatments to her clients, those who she serviced. Additionally, she was given more than just a service, more than just a product. Whenever you go into a business and establishment, we want to be treated with such dignity, such respect and care and compassion, especially because no matter what industry you're in, customer service is at the forefront. So Kelly, you was providing excellent customer service, excellent nutritional value and important products and services to the people that you service. And so you use that information, like you said about, I didn't learn something, y'all. I didn't even know that the chocolate, what'd you call it? The chocolate, I forgot what you said it
Oh, a
was.
chocolate mint.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
chocolate
chocolate
mint.
mint.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I did not know that. That's
Yeah, it
information
creates a
for me.
natural shine. So when I was making the hair oils, and everyone was like, well, my hair is so shiny, but it's not greasy. And I was like, yay, chocolate mint, because it creates a natural shine to the hair without, the greasy feel.
Yeah, that is wonderful news. Did y'all catch that? I hope those of you listening, those of you listening and be it the replay or whatnot, you catch that. And even you get with Kelly to see if she had those products and you can purchase them. Okay. Now getting to this garden, you have grown that's on almost 80 different fruits and vegetables, 78 to 79 different fruits and vegetables, a variety of herbs, 8 fruit trees, and over 10 different varieties of this regular tree. And listen, I done
Yeah.
tried that is amazing. I've tried gardening and something is in the water ain't right, apparently. I could just did not get that green thumb. My little vegetables, they grew a little bit, but I think I need whatever it is you got going on, take a class or two from you so that I can get this thumb down pat. So let us know, because this is part of your healing process, part of you breaking away from that trauma, right? And so
Yeah.
yeah, so like how did that help you? How did gardening and you planting all these different trees and fruits and vegetables that look amazing, by the way, how did that help you? And how have you seen it help others?
Wow, yeah. So, I didn't grow up on a farm. I didn't grow up gardening. I didn't grow up doing any of these things that I started to do that brought me so much peace, joy, and healing. So I would say I started to pay attention to what made me feel good when I was in a very bad time in my life. There was, several traumatic experiences that I endured, but I'll just
Mm-hmm.
speak on this one that led to the gardening. So
Yes.
I was really in a dark time, and I knew this particular time was familiar because I knew I had faced those thoughts before, and what was going on at that time didn't help. But as I began to seek, God, and on a healing aspect, just between him and I,
Yes.
some of the things that made me that were brought to my attention is what makes me feel good, or what makes me happy, or what do I deem as beautiful. And I always love to, drive through people's neighborhood and look at their landscaping, or I was definitely attracted to, like farms and beauty, and just flowers and
Okay.
things like that. So I started growing flowers, and you know, it was beauty. I found peace when I would stick my hands in the dirt. And I just felt better. Like when I would go outside and I would garden, I would, it's like my mind wasn't on all of those things that were trying to weigh me down. And
Good.
I started to notice how I felt when I was planting. So it started with flowers. And, but as I began to see that actually I can grow in the flowers, I would see them grow and things like that. But I wasn't familiar with process gardening, pests. It was a lot of stuff going on in the garden, and I didn't know what was going on. So I'm just like, well, okay, so I need to figure out what's going on, because I would be sad if I planted something and it was growing, and then I come back out and it was like uprooted, or a fungus had taken over it, or it had these invasive species on it that was just tearing it to shreds, so to speak. So I began to
Mm,
get more personal with what I planted, right?
that's
So,
good.
yeah, and it was like I always tell people, I started to see myself in what I planted. So for me, it was the care that I needed to provide for what I planted, in order to make sure that it was not, it didn't succumb to infestation of pets, pests or diseases, or it wasn't snatched up, by a bird, or whatever animal that came to attack it.
Them
So I would see
squirrels.
myself. Yeah, I would start to see myself in everything I planted. It's like, what can I do to provide this protection, so that this flower, this fruit, this vegetable can get to its full span, and it could provide whatever it is that it's supposed to back to me. So as I began to understand that process, I started with food. And I've always been into healthy eating. Like I told you earlier, sometimes I can look at a client's scalp and tell, like, hey, they're lacking, green vegetables, or they're, eating too many fried foods. Like, I don't know how, I can do it. I just, God gave me that gift. And I'll tell them, like, hey, what's your water looking like? Are you eating vegetables? So
Right,
for
right.
me, yeah, so I'm starting to. I said, now if I can do this with a flower, let me see what I can do with food.
Come
And
on. Come on.
yeah, and again, I was saying that the peace and the joy that I had out there, that was my peace. And if I was angry, if I was sad or whatever, I would go out in the garden, and when I would come back in the house, I was, oh my gosh, it's like I could just do flips, run around, dance, sing. So right then I knew that there was this garden and me being
Hmm.
happy and peaceful had a connection. So that's
I
when I started that. Yeah.
I love that. It's so many, y'all. She dropped so many jewels and nuggets in there, some gems, if you will, and these tidbits. I just want to recap, or this my little notes I took regarding what you were sharing with us. Um, Paying attention to what makes you feel good, right? Seeking the Lord. Like sometimes you get in a place. Kelly shared how she sought the Lord. She sought for His instruction and what to do. Even with the gardens, because she started using the flowers. You see, she started with one thing, and eventually she graduated and elevated. Like, okay, let me plant some fruit, and then she planted vegetables. Inside of planting trees, you all, if you continue to blossom as she grew. But she found her place where she would have peace and have joy, no matter what the emotion that she felt. I want y'all to pay attention to something, ladies and gentlemen. She redirected her emotions. A lot of times we lack the emotional intelligence, and we have these emotional outrages where have an outburst. We become disrespectful or rude or abusive, physically, mentally, emotionally, somehow, because we do not know how to manage our emotions. They come and get out of whack. But if you all listen, she shared with us how she was able to redirect her emotions and find a positive hobby and discovered a hobby that made her peaceful, that made her have her joy again, made her, just be at calm. And she put her hands in the earth, in the ground, in the dirt. So she went there and I felt peace. Sometimes we have to return back to our I would say our natural state, if you will, but we have to turn back to our roots, some things to help you. I've been also told that gardening actually helps with memory issues. If you have memory care problems, gardening is a way to kind of help with that, to help you regain your memory because of the steps that it takes. We can do puzzles, but because of using our hands and the different colors, different things there, we have to remember. And you kind of have that muscle memory, if you will. But some other things she mentioned was protecting what you love. She began to protect and invest the time that was necessary to see what's going on. Well, what's going on with my plants? Why is this stuff? Why is this happening? These bugs and these different things, eating them up and uprooting them. She had to figure out what it was that's causing that to happen. So once she identified the root cause, right? She was able to recognize, be accountable, and fix the situation. So, and that's important. We have to be able to fix our situations. And so you use gardening as a tool, as I would say, as a real great coping skill, a coping mechanism, really, to help you. And I think many people use it too. Kids can use it as well. I think a lot of places, inner cities, they have gardens in places where these kids can go. And I know you do that a lot, right? You guys have done a lot of stuff with the youth, with the young people.
Yes, and that's what I'm so glad. It's awesome actually how you just broke down that process, because like I tell people when I do these events and I speak and I let them know, like when I woke up, like I no longer had depression. I no longer focused on my childhood trauma, or that was those memories that was so that encompassed my the space in my head. They began to fade. They began to fade because I understood what was going on in the garden. As like I said, I saw myself in everything I planted. And when I speak to these children, I make sure that they know that their environment is everything. And I got heavy into companion planting. And with companion planting, that you definitely, it's so awesome to know or to find out whether or not a pest, and I say a pest as I compare it to people, whether or not they're beneficial, whether or not they're beneficial, or whether or not they're harmful. So when I started to understand, hey, certain things work together to ward off harmful pests, that that helped me not have to use chemicals in my garden, and certain things grown together, they attract beneficial pests. So you got to know the difference between the harmful pests and a beneficial pest. Just like I tell the children, you have to know the difference between harmful people and beneficial people. So when you're companion planting, the environment is everything. And when I learned that, I had food everywhere. Like multiplication is inevitable when you're in the right environment as a person. So I'm looking at the garden, and then I'm looking at the role weeds had in the garden. And I was like, weeds compete with the planet, it smother them. And I was like, whoa, I got some weeds in my life. Like I literally saw my entire life in the garden. And as I took steps to care for everything that I put in the ground, I just tell people I woke up, there was no depression, and I understood even the childhood trauma aspect of the piece. I even was able to relate that. And I was like, whoa. So I always tell people, like, as I worked in the garden, God worked on me. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that. I so love that. Did you all catch that? That was straight up wisdom right there. And that even the way she broke it down to the children, we have to recognize that somebody adding to us or subtracting from us. And she explained how with the garden, there was a good path and there's bad paths, Some pests come to eat up the stuff, to kill the spiders and all of that, Then you have the ants and the I forgot the other critter, but they come and they mess up things too. But weed and pear, they have the purpose.
There
But
you
we have
go.
to, yeah, but we have to know what's good and what's bad. Like you have good food and bad food, like in the seasons, because we can't just grow everything because we want to have a garden, right? We
There
have to
you go.
grow things in their season. Just
In
like
their
right now,
season.
in their season. So watermelon season has passed. We know that. But they still selling watermelon in the grocery stores. You know what I'm
And
saying?
something is very wrong with that. And that's another thing that I will be getting into with seasonal eating. Because I started doing that. And I don't like to grow anything that does not grow in its season. And so I'm watching a lot of the gardening. They take it's taking a turn where you're forcing something to grow outside of its normal time, right? And when you
Come
do
on.
that, then the fruit can be bitter, right? The fruit can.
Yes.
So I'm like, hold on, like you want this so bad, you're gonna force it to grow outside its normal, season. What are you doing? What harm are we causing to our body when we do that? Right? So if it's not watermelon season, apparently watermelon grew in a certain season for a reason, but now they got gardening where they want to control the temperature and make it grow because you just want it so bad. But what harm is being done by you doing that? Everything has its season.
Exactly. Listen, if we tie that back into not just that part, but we look at as human beings, we can't force relationships to happen. It was a season,
There you
it was
go.
a time frame right there, And so, like you said, the food could be bitter. It's true. You get some food like, oh, this looks good. No, it's not orange season. It's not watermelon season.
There
The
you
time,
go.
the time has passed. That stuff is bitter. And then like, oh,
And
we got
yeah.
everything
And like
starts
you
with the
said, let me
seed.
tell you, yeah, and you're forcing relationships. That's another thing. I was trying to force that because I didn't know, and I'm trying to force things to grow together that don't have the same thing in common. Like
Right.
there's a fruit or a vegetable. They like a lot of water, but another fruit or vegetable don't. So me forcing them to grow next to one another, oh my gosh, it caused fungus, disease, pests were everywhere because they were not compatible. They were not compatible.
Exactly.
And I'm trying to, as a gardener, I'm trying to force them to grow together. Just like I was telling them in a event that I had, you would think just because a white potato and a sweet potato are both potatoes that they can grow in the same environment. That is absolutely false. So I was telling people, that means all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? So they
Exactly.
need two
Right.
total different environments. Yeah.
Yes, that is true. It's kind of like when it comes to school academically, right? You have this student and this student, they're in class, and this is a really life example even for me. We could be in a classroom together. I remember being in college, and I was in a big classroom. It was a huge math class, and the room it was 40 people in there, a lot of college students. I failed that math class. I kid you not. I had the same teacher from high school. I failed her in high school. I ended up eventually passed the class, but I still failed her at some point, during the semester. Fast forward to college, I was in that class. It was she was like, oh, she felt cool because she recognized me from high school. That was okay. But shucks, I failed your class. But when I was in a different environment, right? A different environment. I had a different teach. I had a different teacher. I went to school at night. It was less students. I got a B in that same math class that I failed in. So the environment had to change for me. So it make it easier for me to learn. And so, like you said, when we were in the garden, you can't grow a sweet potato and a white potato together because they need different ingredients, right, to grow. Just like you can't different things, right? Just like like you may see the cornfield. You see corn grows by itself. You don't see corn with anything else when you're growing corn, and they have them fields or whatnot. Cotton don't grow in the same thing. There's two separate things, but they don't grow in the same field. They may be yards apart. And like you said, we can't force things to grow. And when we do that, like as you stated, we have funguses and pests and all these different things come in to tear down, to eat up everything, the locusts, the vermin, they come in and destroy all the hard work you put in because you're trying to grow something and force them together that wasn't compatible. Just like
Now, actually, the corn does have some wonderful companions, but I didn't have to use them to grow my corn. It got up to about 13 feet tall, but corn grow well with like beans and squash, like the name of the three sisters, and it has a great herb to ward off pests too is dill. So again, when you learn to put stuff together that get along, they add value to each other. They help the nutrients, the soil they bring. It is beautiful when you understand like the environment is what's going to cause the multiplication. The environment is what's going to cause, the deposits in the soil that the other vegetables have that
Neat.
gets along with the corn makes the corn sweeter, makes the, it is
Right.
beautiful. Yeah, but again, like you said, when you got in the right environment, you got that beat.
I
Yeah,
did. I did.
yeah.
I did. I did. It's like in the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 15:33, it says, be not deceived. Evil associations corrupt good manners. So
Mm,
if right. So if you're not compatible with somebody, and you notice and you start changing your behavior, become more toxic, you become more mean, you become the narcissistic person, you become the abusive person, the emotional person.
yes.
You become that because the environment has changed. You're trying to force something to grow, trying to force things to happen and
Hmm.
unnecessarily. And so for you, Kelly, you were able to birth out this wonderful children's book that's available for everybody to understanding how fearfully and wonderfully made they are, how they're able to grow and to develop into being a wonderful human being. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. So tell us a little bit about your book, your children's book that's available everywhere for y'all to go out and purchase this wonderful book.
Yeah, so actually this is a beautiful ending to well, now it's a beginning. But
Yeah.
so I physically don't have the garden anymore. I am went through a divorce, and the property will be sold. So, I was thinking like, well, I don't have my garden. But then I had to realize it's so many lessons. God was like, it's so many lessons that I showed you in that garden. You better
Mm-hmm.
package this stuff, and you
Right.
need to feed, and you need to share the
Mm-hmm.
stories. And I was like, whoa. So the corn, I'm glad that you referenced the corn, because that's my first book is when I was, I was trying to grow corn, and I didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize that, what was going on with the corn. And, and,
Mm-hmm.
and I just made that a story, since at this particular time, I don't have that space anymore to physically do the work, but the work was done in me. So I can, I said, let me just put this in a book, my experience in a book.
Mm-hmm.
And it all starts with to me, the children, because a lot of my trauma came from when I was a young, when I was a child, right?
Yes.
So for
Right.
me, I'm like, let me try to reach these children, because if I'd have had these stories or these experiences or this knowledge or this wisdom, at that age,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like, wow, a lot of things we can avoid if we knew. So
Right.
I said, well, let me put this in a book so that I can try to reach the children, right? And or just provide something for them that wasn't done for me at that time. So I said it's time for me to put a lot of the knowledge that God, showed me, this love story, in a book. And I dedicate the book, when you open it up, I dedicate it to God, because I'm telling
Yes,
you,
you did.
I
Mm-hmm.
woke up and I'm telling you, it is gone. I've never had to sit on a chair, take any medication or anything, and all of the lessons that I learned in the garden. So I love to share and help others, the best way that, God uses me to share my story and help others the best way I can. But I love to, I just put the story of my corn in the book, because that corn got 13 feet tall, and it was delicious to just be able to go out there and grab raw corn off of the stalk and just eat it, but knowing that I had to understand, what it needed in order
Mm-hmm.
for it to get to that point. So we know what we needed. Multiplication, know what we need. Multiplication is inevitable. Like we can grow beyond, just beyond. So that's what that's about.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Now, let our listeners know how they can get a copy of this wonderful book, The Life of the Seed by Miss Kellesia Sharay.
Yeah, so Amazon, there is available on Kindle on Amazon, and there's a link. It's available on Ingram Sparks. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, I didn't want to do the physical copy on Amazon, because they wanted to. I wouldn't be able to sell the book on other platforms. So for
Right.
me, I want, this particular book. It turned out beautiful, like the graphics, and this is a real true story. And I just
Yes.
wanted it not to be pigeonholed like that. But the
Mm-hmm.
Kindle version is available on Amazon, but you can order the physical copy on Ingram Sparks website.
That is awesome. Yeah, you need to get a copy of this beautiful book. To all my educators out there, moms, dads, to get a copy of this beautiful children's book, be sure to get in touch with Kelly. Let them know how they can follow you, get in touch, visit your website and everything, to shimmer and shine.
I sure will. I sure will. And for information on my story or how to contact me, my website is www.shimmer. That's SHEMMERAND shine. That's SHYNE.com. That's shimmerandshine.com. And information on DeXa Family Gardens, that's where I grew over all of the 78 to 79 different fruits and vegetables. The story on those, and you can see, actual pictures of the fruit and vegetables that I grew, and that is www.dexafamilygardens.com. That's www.DEXAFamilygardens.com.
Perfect. All right, y'all. Y'all know at the end, we say positive words. So, is any last thing you want to share with the audience, Kelly, before we wrap it up?
Yes. Everything the seed needs is already in it. No matter how small the seed is, no matter what the seed looks like, everything that seed needs in order to grow and become whatever you plant is already in it. So everything that we need is already in us.
All right, that was powerful, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys catch that and have enjoyed it, listening to the show. Be sure to get in touch with Kellesia, follow her, like and subscribe to support this woman. I hope you all to be able to be empowered, equipped, and educated right here on the Simply Monique Radio Show. Until next time, we thank Kellesia for being a guest. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you all stay up, be blessed, and peace.
Thank you so much, Monique. This was a wonderful experience, and be blessed and to keep doing wonderful things for the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey y'all, it's Taisha and Bryant, the parent healer, and I support the Simply Monique Show, a show for real people about real conversation. Tune in every Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. I am the founder, CEO of We Have a Purpose Incorporated, a nonprofit organization that provides prevention and intervention services for at-risk youth and their families. I am also the owner of Resilient Family Wellness, where we specialize in parent and emotional distress coaching. We believe that our parents must heal so our kids can live and break from the cycle of pain. Speaking of pain, have you ever been involved in a car accident? If so, have your attorney contact us for your coaching after the crash, where we enhance your life and your settlement. Remember, your mental health is just as important as your physical health. While we're here, head on over to www.taishaandbrian.com and grab my books, Imperfectly Perfect, 3 Steps on the Parenthood Journey, and Resilience Over Regret, a journey of teen pregnancy, faith, love, and family. Yep, your girl's an author too. Again, this is Taisha and Bryant, the parent healer, and I support the Simply Monique Show. My husband and I are tuned in every Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. I love y'all because I can, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I am Jared Lasky of Fireborn Ministries, and I was graciously hosted by Monique on her radio show. And I had a great conversation with her on my podcast, Adventures in the Spirit with Jared Lasky. I fully support and endorse Monique's outreach that is reaching countless people around the world. My ministry, Fireborn Ministries, lives to see Jesus awaken this generation to the power of the Holy Spirit. Whether it's through podcasting, e-courses, webinars, seminars, conferences, coaching, books, or evangelistic crusades in places like Pakistan or India, we also liberate persecuted Christians from brick factory slavery and rehabilitate them with new jobs that help support a free educational school for poor kids in Pakistan. Our world needs the gospel, but also biblical, ethical, entrepreneurial kingdom businesses setting captives free. It's an honor to partner with Monique and see Jesus move in your life.
Hey, this is your girl, Pastor Mo, the Confident Woman, and the founding pastor of New Life International Ministries. I want you to know that I am a supporter of the Simply Monique Radio Show, and I invite you to tune in every Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time on all streaming platforms. This show is a platform for individuals to have authentic conversations about faith, business, and lifestyle. The Simply Monique Radio Show allows guests and her audience to be educated, empowered, and equipped to achieve personally and professionally. Sit back and listen on all streaming platforms. The Simply Monique Radio Show.